Hello everyone, Father Lamb here, and it's Wednesday and it's July 12th. Today in the readings was about the calling of the disciples, each one of the disciples being called by name. And the truth is, each one of us has a calling from God, each and every one of us, and we have a mission that God wants us to do. And that's part of what we're here on earth to figure out. What is God calling me to do? What's my purpose in life, if you will? And I'd like to share with you a quote that maybe you've heard before from now St. John Henry Newman, where he talks about, God's created each one of us for a purpose. Just bear with me. Newman writes, God has created me to do him some definite service. He's committed some work to me which he has not committed to another. I have my mission. I may never know it in this life, but I shall be told it in the next. I am a link in a chain, a bond of connection between persons. He has not created me for naught. I shall do good. I shall do his work. I shall be an angel of peace, a preacher of truth in my own place, while not intending it, if I do but keep his commandments. Therefore, I will trust him. You can check that out on the internet. It's a beautiful little quote from John Henry Newman that each one of us has a particular mission that's just for us to do while we're on this earth. I think of that, I think of the fact that each one of us has a calling and a mission. And I think of St. Ignatius of Loyola, any of the saints, but St. Ignatius, who founded the Jesuits, as you may know. And he was all about, fighting in the war, and a cannonball hit his leg. He actually limped the rest of his life. But while he was rehabbing from that, as you may know the story, he only had two things to read. I think one was the life of Christ, and it might have been something else on the saints. And that's what he started reading. And he was really, really brought into the faith because of reading that. He had nothing else to do, so to speak. But here's what happened with Ignatius that really became part of his discernment. He started thinking about what it was like when he was to be a knight and be fighting in these wars, which he did, and to be wooing the women and all that, and be filled with excitement. But after he stopped thinking about it, he would quickly become very empty inside. But when he thought about becoming a missionary, becoming a saint, living a life following Christ, he'd get very excited. But then he found that when he stopped thinking about it, he was filled with peace. And that's part of his whole discernment, or what you feel afterward. Do you feel that peace that's inside? And that's something that Ignatius really kind of gives us a gift, if you will. Like, there's nothing wrong with watching mindless TV once in a while. You have a rough day, you just want to watch something that's just like bubblegum for the brain. I don't really feel like thinking, you just put something on TV. Not trying to make anybody feel guilty. But a lot of times, if you watch TV all night, at the end of the night, okay, I watch TV, you feel empty. But you watch something inspirational, something on the lives of the saints, something about your faith. You watch something that educates you, it can inspire you, and after it's over, you feel peace inside. What are we watching on TV? What are we looking at? Is it something that's inspiring, something that is really doing something for our spirituality? I came across a really neat quote from St. Joan of Arc, who was an incredible saint. You think of this woman, especially in their centuries ago, women didn't go in there and fight battles, and she did. She dealt with kings and politicians and all sorts of people, and fighting for France and everything. And at one point, someone asked her, "Are you afraid?" And she said, "No, I'm not afraid. God is with me." And she said, "I was born for this." Isn't that a powerful line? I was born for this. Put that together in your own life. Do not be afraid. God is with you. You have been born for this. God has a purpose for each one of our lives, and that's really what we're out to find out. And then he wants to send us out there in this mission and bring Christ to other people. And maybe that's what you and I can concentrate on today. That God's calling us out there. Maybe nothing tremendous that will change the world, but maybe it'll change one person's life or help someone in one afternoon. So today, be aware that God has a mission for you. Don't be afraid. Be ready to step out. God is with you, and you were born for this. Who's God calling you to help today? And here's the question. When he calls us to help, will we be available? God bless you.